Hey everybody, we're here reviewing Rupi Kaur's Milk and Honey. Yes, because when I referenced it in in my notes, I called it Honey and Milk, and that was wrong. So um, I'm gonna do my best to butt out the light. I thought I read the whole thing in like 10 minutes. It's really short, but um, this is gonna be a short review. Um, I thought it was at points narcissistic. I thought it was very childish. It wasn't very. It reminded me of this idea of decolonial love, which is something that Juno Diaz talked about. It's the first time I heard of decolonial love. I heard it when he said it, and practicing decolonial love and how you must respect yourself and all that. And I I just thought that it was something that somebody in their teens would write. Honestly, I think she was in her teens or in high school or early college. I don't know. I think by the time you graduate college, I think this is a lot of hogwash. Honestly, I think it's a lot of hogwash. Um, I don't think it was that deep. I don't know. I just thought it was. I don't want to say shallow because shallow has a negative connotation, but it wasn't very deep. It wasn't very soulful. It wasn't very. It was artistic. I like her form. I like her. She's very. I like how she spaces out her lines. Like she will finish off a lot of her lines will not end in a period. They will indent. Like one regular sentence will be like, for example, one regular would be one line, and then sentence would be the next, but longer. So so I don't know. I just thought that she would go off, and then the way she would indent to the next line was very smooth. I like that. I thought she did a good job of indenting. Um, some of the when I said when I hate to say this because she's like very feminist. She's a young feminist, and I I respect feminism, but it doesn't always jive with me partly because sometimes they jump to extremes. Like for example, when one of the lines that she says, love is a community. Having sex is love between two people when one person is making love to the other and the other person is half asleep, not wanting to, or something like that. That's rape. And I'm just like, I see why you say that, but I have to disagree. I don't think love is always this passionate encounter. It's just like when you think of the probability of it, it's just you're not always like on your A game. Why would you always be on your A game during sex? Would you always consent? You like the fact that you're into it demonstrates consent. When you both communicate in love, that's when you have consent. But when one person is not all the way in, you think maybe you shouldn't have it. But sometimes sex is just like a quotidian habit, something that you have between both of you, common, and it's common. So it's not always this deep thing. It has its ups and downs. It can be deep, but at the same time, it can be shallow. It can be simple, and because you think that one person does not consent means rape, I'm just like, I don't know. But at other times, like I think Like if one person is like half asleep and the other person wants to have sex with them, sometimes I think that's right. But other times I'm just like I'm not sure. And that's just the thing, I'm not sure. And yet she's confident about that. And I'm just like, I don't know. So yeah, that's what I think about this book. It wasn't that good. It was kind of shallow. Um, it was just very simple, very simple, very simple. And it talks a lot about relationships, talks about self love, it talks about uh, relationships with fathers, a few poems in there. Um, and I don't know, for someone so young, like can a person be that wise at such a young age? Like I don't know when the thing is once you get into let me see how 5 minutes, so I'll probably go on for like 3 more minutes. Uh, I think that when you truly give yourself to another person, you lose a part of yourself. I think that's the big thing about love in your 20s and in your late teens. You lose a part of yourself, and people don't identify it as such. They think that you lose something, and then but they don't know that it's a part of yourself, the self, like the psychological self, capital S. You lose a part of yourself, and they they subconsciously know that. Maybe not even that deep. Maybe you don't have to go to the subconscious. They know that. It's just when it actually happens, you don't know that that's what's happening. So you lose a part of yourself, and you don't march down that path like that straight. It feels like it's a straight narrow path. Like she's taking the straight narrow path, and she she has been writing since she was 5. She's been artistic since she was 5. So I guess this was in her upbringing. So she was brought up to be artistic and to express herself. And I can't do that, guys. Like I know that if I try to maintain a regular craft, I think I will give out. I think eventually I will give out and I won't be able to write anymore at all. Like I'll just go dry. And that's why I have to preserve how much I write because it's it's not easy. Like to be this like to be like a lumberer, like a guy that does this every day for like 8 hours a day for 20, 30 years. I think that's impossible. I think I would like break my soul, honestly. I think this thing comes in waves, comes and goes, and you do what you can, and when you can't, you don't do it. And yet here she is. Maybe it's because I had a mental breakdown. I think that now, but um, yeah, I think she's like very foolhardy in a sense because she's like really praising the down and narrow path, and when you fall in love, you lose a lot of yourself, guys, and you surrender a lot of your defenses and that's sometimes that's what it takes when you fall in love. You to be vulnerable. You surrender a lot of your defenses, knowingly, knowing that you're surrendering your defenses, and you still do it, and that's love. And I think that she, this decolonial love sometimes is only an ideal that you can never meet because and only through experience and time can you actually do it. But at such a young age, I don't believe that shit. She's too young, too inexperienced. It sometimes and it's funny enough. Experience has taught me this. Experience has taught me that you need experience sometimes. So think about that. And shit, it went over. Yeah, so that's what I think about this. It wasn't that good. Um, I bought a copy of the book and I'm gonna return it to Barnes and Noble. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Please comment. Leave a comment, please.